How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading when the price is going up or down. The US SEC sued Binance and CZ on Monday. What's in the complaint? The US SEC sued Binance and CZ on Monday for their blatant disregard for federal security laws, along with 13 charges, including operating an unregistered exchange. As Binance's CCO bluntly admitted to another Binance compliance officer in December 2018, we are operating as a effing unlicensed securities exchange in the USA, bro. The SEC supposedly has a quote of them saying, so we'll have to see if that's actually true or not, how they have any grounds for that, but hearsay doesn't really hold up in court. The agency said Zhao and Binance created BAM management and BAM trading in 2019 as part of an elaborate scheme to evade US laws, by saying that Binance US platform was independent and that US customers could not use Binance.com, and they are also going after them because they're saying that users were able to still get to the platform even though there were supposed to be blocks in place to make sure that they weren't able to and these controls weren't active. SEC said that Solana, Cardano, and Polygon were some of the securities being offered on Binance. They say that this includes but is also not limited to BNB, BUSD, Sol, Atom, Matic, File, Atom, Sand, Mana, Algo, AXS, and Cody. So a lot of meta coins, a lot of big projects here being targeted. So they're really trying to hammer the big projects in crypto here. That's why the SEC lawsuit's pretty important. Do Kwon's release on bail a second time prompts wild speculation. So Do Kwon has been released for bail by a higher court. That he has on bail until June 16th. He has another court hearing then, so 11 days. And their bail is $468,000 per person, him and his other co-conspirator. So once they have this hearing, then they will see if they go to jail or not. They'll try their case and see if their IDs were valid. Not sure if they're going to weigh in on the crypto parts, but this would probably open the door for afterwards if it does go negatively for them. Oh, they are also under police surveillance, so don't worry about that. So they will have to pay those fines if they do not show up or try to evade. RBA evaluates regulatory framework for stablecoins and CBDCs. So Australia's RBA has released more information that they are going to look into stablecoins and CBDCs. The bank acknowledged that stablecoins in Australia are limited at present, but it sees that in the future these stablecoins could have potential to really help their economy and their future financial system. The RBA has clarified that no decisions have been made regarding the adoption of a digital Australian dollar, but is actively exploring CBDCs, so their stance is pretty much like the US's official stance. From its research, the RBA notes that countries which have implemented CBDCs, primarily which are Caribbean regions, use them to enhance domestic payment systems, so they're saying it could help the natural payment system in the country. So they're trying to hint that it is helpful, and they are hinting that worldwide they could be helpful to do trade for other countries and that maybe other people can hold various CBDCs. Tether joins 1 billion Bitcoin mining initiative in El Salvador. So pretty good move for El Salvador and Tether. The firm behind the project, Volcano Energy, said in a press release that its chief goal is to position El Salvador as a prominent global player in the Bitcoin mining industry, and this plan could really have some good implications if it does continue to go on. So far, the firm has raised $250 million for the project, bootstrapped by key Bitcoin industry leaders and top manufacturers of Bitcoin industry tech. Right now, the company is developing a 241 megawatt capacity power generation facility that will be powered by wind and solar. They'll have a 1.3 exahash per second computation power, and then eventually they're going to use geothermal, so they're going to use one of their, I believe it's 13 different volcanoes that they have. So the profits, El Salvador's government is involved with the planning and executing the initiative, and they will earn 23% of the profits from this. The 27% will go back to investors, and then the final 50% will be reinvested into developing mining infrastructure, which they'll probably be using for more async miners, as well as making that geothermal pathway. The investment includes backing from Tether, which is the world's largest stablecoin provider for now, which revealed last month that it was breaking into the Bitcoin mining industry in Uruguay. So this is pretty good. Tether did report net profits, so this will help their net profits even more. So good moves on both parts. So it's a pretty bloody day today. But I've been pretty much saying it was going to go down for like a week or two, so no shocker there. Our stochastic is falling, RSI is falling, our momentum is falling, we have a red dot, money flows were directing away, VWAP is falling out. We did push away from this ascending triangle and way out of this descending flag. Didn't push quite as bad as like Algo. Algo looks just like a complete mess right now. We'll get into that later. So over on the 4 hour, RSI is pretty beat down, stochastic's dead. Our VWAP is making lower lows, trying to head back up. We'll have to see if it can kind of break through this 14 zone. If not, if it gets rejected, we may make another lower low. Our momentum is coming down, kind of trying to taper, but probably not going to if the lower time frames look too bad. But every time you get a big drop like this, I want to start by saying you're going to get a reversal. So eventually we are going to go back up and retest some sort of support or resistance, whether it be right in here, where we have these candles that bounced a few times, or where our patterns were. So over on Bitcoin dominance, we are halfway down through our triangle. Sorry about that. Stochastic is falling, RSI is falling, money flows rejecting away, our VWAP is rejecting away, momentum's coming out, kind of starting to curl, but overall is coming out. Over on the 4 hour, our stochastic is trying to push up, RSI is trying to head up, money flow is making lower lows, but trying to get a little bit of a recovery. Our VWAP is trying to head up, and our momentum is trying to make a bullish divergence here. So we have some signs that Bitcoin dominance could start to recover here. We'll have to see if it can leach into the daily. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we are falling to our value area low. So we did pretty much almost kiss that area. It's likely we could make a bounce up to... Don't know why our point of control is not showing here. Oops, sorry, that's our value area high, not our value area low. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we have pretty much bounced off our value area high. So if we don't set up more red candles and fall through it, and we start to set green candles, we could see our Bitcoin dominance start to raise up, and we could fill some of these higher areas. Oop, accidentally hit the space key, sorry about that. We'll get rid of this one because we did fill that previously. So we do have a range up here above around 30k, and we do have a lower range around this 20k level. So it's likely now that we've started to slide, if we don't get support here, we will hit this 20k level, as that's near our point of control, and the point of control is your next stop after your value area high. So over on Bitcoin, we are getting a pretty decent breakdown. Fell out of our wedge, fell out of our flag. Our RSI and our stochastic are starting to fall pretty rapidly. Our money flow is rejecting away, VWAP's rejecting away, momentum's falling with a red dot, so that's not good for our momentum, especially since it's already sharply falling. That's signaling we could even see more of a sharp fall. So we may accelerate our drop tomorrow. But we could also bounce off this support area, so don't just take that face value just because it's on the daily and just because I said it just now. Use other analysis and your own opinions when you're making your decisions. RSI is trying to head up, stochastic is trying to push forward. Our money flow doesn't really know where it wants to go on the 4 hour. If it maintains a bullish trend, that will be strong for us. However, if it maintains a bearish trend, we could see further downside. Our VWAP is trying to push up. Momentum looks like it wants to get a curl in the next few candles. However, we could kind of have that signal, get a red dot, and push away. So just don't jump in just because it looks like it wants to curl. You don't want to front run some of this stuff because it will ultimately get you wrecked. Our RSI is trying to curl up. Stochastic's been pretty beat down for a while here on the 2 hour. Our money flow is flicking into the bearish zone, so we are starting a bearish trend on the 2 hour. If it confirms on the 1, 2, and 4 hour, then we could set up some strong moves down. Our momentum is trying to curl with a green dot that could confirm here, a double green dot. So that could be good for us. However, we could also see a little bit of a rise up and then a curl right after. We could retest these zones. Remember I said you'll get those retests, and then we could just fall away after a retest. So if you see it rise, don't FOMO in just because you saw it rise. Doesn't always mean you're going to jump in or gonna see it raise. You don't want to just jump in because you see something go up. Stochastic is running up, RSI is running up, money flow is coming up, VWAP's trying to head up. Our money flow wants to kind of reverse here, so our momentum is trying to reverse. Money flow is trying to reverse too. We'll get to that in a second. But that is good for us because the money flow is reversing as well. If this money flow breaks bullish, with the momentum reversing, we could see it continue upward, and that VWAP might start to curl back up. The Stochastic and RSI are testing the neutral zone, so this is an important level for it. If it doesn't break through this neutral zone and it starts to curl under, then we could be in for some more downside from here. So over on graph, on the daily, we fell pretty hard from that rounding top we mentioned yesterday. Stochastic is running down, RSI is running down, momentum's falling down, our money flow's rejecting away, VWAP is rejecting away, so overall the daily is looking pretty beat down and not very strong. We are pretty much at a support level. If we break through this level, we could see these lower zones around this 8 cent area, and then if we break through this I want to say 9 to 8 cent area, then we could see around the 7 to 6 or 5 cent area. That's a bit bigger of a zone, but you kind of have this zone. You could encapsulate the whole thing, but I like to think of it as separate because you have some here in that zone, and then you have a different trend here. So these are like one set of trends, these are another, these are another. So our Stochastic is falling, RSI is falling, momentum's falling, VWAP's falling, not looking very strong, just to recap. Over on the 4 hour, we are getting a little bit of a green candle. We have an indecision doji candle. RSI is trying to curl up, so pretty much looking like everything. Like I said, we could get that rebound back up, retest, and then we could see a rejection. We'll have to see how everything's looking once we get that retest. Our momentum is falling away. Our money flow wants to go bullish. Doesn't. It's kind of just flip-flopping around. We'll have to see if it can gain some weight here. VWAP is trying to push through this neutral zone, so we'll have to see if it can manage to actually do that. But it is kind of starting to taper away, so if it starts to curl and fall, then we may see some continued downside. Our Stochastic's pretty beat down, so even though our RSI is trying to point up, it doesn't really have any strength at all currently. Over on the 2 hour, our RSI is trying to curl up a little more aggressive, Stochastic's getting a little bit stronger of a curl. Our VWAP is trying to push up, money flow is overall leaching out and is well into the bearish territory. Our momentum has a confirmed double green dot, but if this money flow doesn't get a stronger push up from here, then we may see that a red dot follow in the next couple of candles, and we could see some downside then. Over on the 1 hour, Stochastic's kind of starting to round away. RSI is trying to run up though. We are right around that neutral zone, so we want both these to break through and push forward. We don't want them to fall flat here. If they fall flat here, we could see some more downside. Our money flow was coming up, but starting to curl back down. So if we flatten out and curl down and start to fall again, we could see more bearish trend that could bring our other time frames into the red. Our momentum is trying to push forward. VWAP's pretty flat in the bullish territory, so the VWAP's not really too strong. We're kind of at a resistance area. You see, every time we come up to this zone, we kind of get smacked back down lately, so exercise some caution. Over on the daily, we've broken through our volume area low on anchor, so we are breaking through our volume profile. Our next stop could be in this zone if we don't meet some support in this zone that we're currently in, between the 2.3 and the 2.1. Then our next stop would be like the 1.7 to possibly the 1.4 area. Our stochastic is trying to get a bearish cross and fall. RSI is falling, momentum's got a red dot, so we could see more downside. VWAP's rejecting away, money flow's rejecting away, so we're not very strong here. We have a manipulation X, so we could really see some spill to the downside because of that X on the daily. It's not like it's on the hourly where you get indecision all the time. On the 4 hour, our money flow is about to break into the bearish zone, so watch out for that. Our RSI is not really curling up like everything else. We're pretty much sliding still. Our stochastic sliding. Our VWAP is trying to head up, getting lower lows, struggling to get past this 12 zone, so we'll have to see if it can manage to push through and continue up. Otherwise, this could be an area we see it kind of curl. Our momentum wants to get a little bit of a push to the upside, but we could continue downward for a few candles because we don't have a green dot, and this round is on the secondary wave, and that could easily just curl back away. Over on the 2 hour, our RSI is trying to push up, money flows in the bearish territory, stochastic has a weak trend. Our VWAP is trying to break bullish, so we'll have to see if it can break bullish and hold. And our momentum does have a double green dot that wants to confirm. So the 2 hour is hopeful for a push up, but this money flow needs to reverse its course. Over on the 1 hour, our money flow is in the bearish zone. VWAP's struggling to go anywhere. Our stochastic looks like it is about to start to fall just at that neutral area. Our RSI could start to fall as a result. Momentum's trying to push forward, but if everything else starts to fall here, momentum's likely to follow. We're kind of flagging here, so not too strong looking. Over on XRP, we're getting a pretty decent drop. We got rejected from that resistance at 54, and we are back into this flag. So we could try to trend in this flag. You see we fell out of it, so sellers tried to push us down, but they weren't successful. We'll have to see if this 50 cent area can hold. If not, we may revisit this 46 cent zone. Stochastic is starting to fall, momentum's starting to fall. We have a double red dot here. Our money flow is starting to curl out. VWAP's starting to break away, so overall we're not looking too strong. And I've been kind of hinting at that since we've been in this zone because our money flow was very weak. Over on the 4 hour, our RSI is trying to push up. Stochastic's falling though. Our money flow is heading out very slightly. Our VWAP's trying to recover, but if everything else keeps falling, then that VWAP likely will start to curl back away. We are trying to make this support from our flag our new support, so we'll have to see if we can actually manage to do that or not. Then we could get locked back in this 52 to 50 cent range, which technically could be a bear flag, but this could also be considered an outlier jump. So don't get too freaked out. If we kind of get locked in this like 50 to 51 zone and just consolidate around this support level, then it would be more of a bear flag. Over on the 2 hour, we are trying to get a little bit of a rounding bottom. Could be a bit of an ascending wedge that forms too, so kind of watch out. Our RSI is trying to push up, stochastic's trying to push up, VWAP's trying to push up. We're getting hung up at that neutral and starting to curl though, so watch out. Money flow's gone pretty flat in the bullish territory. It was inching down, so hopefully it starts to come back up. And our momentum looks like we want to get a green dot in the next couple candles, like next candle or two possibly. So that is a good sign for us. RSI is trying to inch up, stochastic's trying to inch up. We're around that neutral zone, so hopefully we can break through and get some bullish momentum. Money flow is breaking bullish. VWAP's trying to head back up. Our momentum's trying to curl up, so very decent looking on the 1 hour. But like I said, watch out for some sort of ascending wedge or bear flag to form. Over on the daily for algo, last but not least, you can see it's dropped pretty much as bad as graph and anchor. We fell pretty hard from that wedge. Stochastic has a bearish cross, so it might not be over yet. RSI is falling, VWAP's falling. Our money flow is just holding in this range. Momentum has a red dot, so momentum's suggesting we could see some further downside too. All we have is sell pressure here, so the buyers were able to push us up, but with all those red candles in here, that's not too good. Over on the 4 hour, you can see we have more red candles. We have no green candles currently. So if we don't get some green candles in here, we could see further downside and just continue our slide. Money flow is starting to round and test the neutral zone. RSI is falling. Our stochastic is pretty beat down and pretty much dead. Our VWAP's trying to make a recovery. Momentum wants to kind of round here, but it may take several candles. Over on the 2 hour, we are trying to get a double green dot that could confirm, so this momentum could try to save us, but our money flow is overall trending out still. VWAP is trying to break the bullish trend. We did just get rid of that green dot off that RSI, so our RSI is pretty flat here. That's not too, this green dot's not confirmed. You have to see if it confirms. If it does, we could get a push up, but we'll have to see if the stochastic pushes with it. If the stochastic doesn't push with the RSI won't have any strength. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic looks like we want to get a bearish cross. RSI is pretty flat. VWAP's flat. Money flow is trending down in the bearish territory. Our momentum is trying to push up, but we could start to curl away here, so exercise some caution. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.